Hello everyone and welcome to Memory Flow, where we discuss fragrance and fragrance collection. Well, not a week before Francesca Bianchi announced her next launch, which is Unspoken Musk, the musk who must not be named, I went ahead and purchased another of her fragrances, one I've coveted ever since I've smelled this beautiful Guet-Apens, thanks to Sebastian Furtado. So in case you haven't figured it out, today we will be speaking about Angel's Dust. Now this was launched in 2016, and it might very well be Francesca Bianchi's first fragrance, first launch. I'm not sure about that. I will stand corrected if someone wishes to correct me. Now I've known this for some time, but now I've gotten to know it a lot better, so it's time to really talk about it. Now this is described as a powdery violet slash iris amber, in the same vein sort of as Putain de Palace from État Libre d'Orange and Missia from Chanel and many others, because there are many fragrances in this ballpark, but I find that this is not enough because Angel's Dust is quite apart, and it's also very complex. So let's get into this. Oh God. So it is true, this is an amber, but it is a Francesca Bianchi amber, which means it is deep, it is dense, and it has that spicy velvety tone that you can find in another fragrance of hers, which is the Dark Side. However, the fragrance itself is light, it presents itself as light, and it creates the impression of color of baby blue or pastels, quite delicate. But just remember, there's also a dark side to this, like the other side of the moon, and at any moment this angel dust can turn on you. So because it's an amber, you will get vanilla, but this is what gets me going, by the way. The vanilla, the way that this vanilla is done, the vanilla is very balanced, it's a bit boozy, and it's very delicate and very Guerlain. There are florals in this, of course. Mainly you will get a faint waxy rose, but also a colossal iris slash violet, which is a bright indigo color, very contrasting and very well established. And the florals also get a fruity, tart berry-like note to make it zingy and happy. Now for the woody notes. There's woody notes in this, and they're sweet, and very polished, very smooth, just like Coromandel, or another one of Francesca Bianchi's works, which is Sticky Fingers. I swear I do detect some patchouli in this, especially in the dry down, even though it's not listed. So as it dries, Angel's Dust does become woodier and darker and naughtier. There's also elements that are tied to bees. There's a smooth beeswax smell, which is raw and delicious, and I don't know how you call it, maybe propolis, propolis, I guess, or as maybe I've seen it as bee glue, I don't know. It's that slightly medicinal pollen-like smell, which is just gorgeous, and it is a resin. It does have that sticky feel to it, and now comes the interesting part, that human body smell. It's funky, it's heated, and you know, it's honest. It's a smell that we've all smelled. We're accustomed to it, hopefully, and I myself find it very intriguing and very, very sensual. It's, of course, it's that undercarriage smell from the Musculaire Bleu, or that thing that makes that gives Under My Skin its name. Under My Skin is another wonderful fragrance by Francesca Bianchi, because she does have this sort of similarity of across the board, across all of her fragrances. All of them share this common DNA, which is, of course, something I do enjoy quite a lot. So Angel's Dust, with this human body smell, this very real, funky, almost body odor like, it's very insolent. Now let's talk about Guet-Apens. Guet-Apens. So the reason this tie between Angel's Dust and Guet-Apens exists in the mainstream is because of Luca Turin. Luca Turin is to blame again. He said that this fragrance is, Angel's Dust, is like an homage to Guet-Apens, which is Mathilde Laurent's fragrance from '99. I have this bottle here, this sample here from Sebastian Furtado. Go check his channel. It's amazing. It's everything Guerlain and more. So this is a big Guet-Apens. This is a big perfume from the late 90s, early 2000s, and Luca Turin couldn't be more right. He's very, very right. So without the fragrances being at all identical, I have Guet-Apens sprayed here. Without the fragrances being identical, Angel's Dust reminds me of Guet-Apens just as much as Luxe Calme Volupté reminds me of Vol de Nuit. So it's the same idea. It's like an homage, although I'm not sure Francesca Bianchi actually intended for this to happen, but it's a happy coincidence. As she said, it's a huge honor to, especially for her as then freshly starting perfumer. She has quite a lot more experience now and quite a lot more fragrances launched, but as she said, it's a huge honor to have one of your fragrances likened to this masterpiece from Guerlain, which is sadly so hard to find. But as I said, the idea behind them is the same. Angel's Dust is a big perfume. It's loud, it's heady, it's very full-bodied. It makes itself remarked. You can definitely feel the presence of Angel's Dust. And also it's a fragrance reminiscent of boudoirs, of old-timey boudoirs, of lipstick. It's also audacious, but as a veneer, as a facade. You know, and there are many Guerlain references in this fragrance. There's the vanilla, there's the iris, and dare I say, I do detect parts of the Guerlainade in this. Well, of course I do. Also, I like to say that this likening is a bit unfair to Francesca Bianchi, because knowing her work now, this is her, and it is her at her best. So this is, it's not a Guerlain, folks. This is a Francesca Bianchi, because her signature is present. It is there. And even more about Angel's Dust, even more, this fragrance has its own life. It has a human presence, and it is intoxicatingly sensual. This fragrance pulsates its own rhythm that it dances to. It's just amazing. It is also quite potent. A single spray of this keeps me for a whole day. It is also very expansive. It fills a whole room, and in the atmosphere, people will detect, will feel it as a delicate powdery touch of fruity florals, which is very inviting and very intriguing. And I don't know if I've said this before, but for the price, you can find these 30 milliliter extrays. This is a steal. So if you ask me, this is Francesca Bianchi at her finest. And Angel's Dust is a truly complex beast that also sends me to think of other fragrances of hers, as we've seen, such as the Dark Side, Luxe Grande Volupté, with the way that that vanilla is so exquisitely well done, and also Under My Skin for the funky, odorous sexiness, and also Sticky Fingers for that sweet, sweet woody notes, that sweet patchouli, almost chocolatey, which I swear it's there. And yeah, it reminds me of The Birth of Venus by Alexandre Cabanel, because just like in the painting, you may assume that Angel's Dust has its eyes closed, but it is alive and it is watching you. Also, I'm quite sure that the name Angel's Dust is ironic because there is no angel here, not anymore. So there you go. This was my review of Francesca Bianchi's Angel's Dust. If you have any more questions, do hit me up in the comments. Also tell me what else you think about Angel's Dust, because as I said, this is quite complex. And until next time, remember, fragrance creates memories, and may yours be happy.